where do you see, what's your vision for the next 10 years for technology and the internet and where you think it's going?
I think both as citizens of Colorado and those involved in the tech community and entrepreneurs, and working closely with our the partnership with our public officials, I think when I look at technology over the next 10 years, I think I get so excited about some of the things that Larry talks about because it's not science fiction. And to even amplify some of the pieces he's talking about between cloud and big data, we have a group of the kind of the Obama All-Stars who were fortunate to get President Obama reelected in office, coming to the state to talk about, not about policy or anything about politics, they're talking about the specific tools they use to drive social media engagement in rural areas to find voters who have never voted, for someone that align their passions through blogging and tools and big data analytics that literally showed the world that through math and science you can get the administration's message to people that have never heard it. And so I look at those type of things changing the landscape of politics and public policy in our government environment. And then on the other side of it, I look at things like Raspberry Pi. Does anyone know what a Raspberry Pi in this room?
That I don't know.
So Raspberry Pi is a $35 device that has the same computing power of all your phones. And so today it's being deployed through a lot of third world countries today to allow them to see the internet for the very first time. And when you think about $35 and you think about the value gap of having access to technology, the entire bottom portion of the constituents in all of our markets and counties are going to have access to things that are very attainable, whether it's funded privately or through public means. And I think all those data points, to Larry's point, are going to have some sort of connectivity to a broadband network, whether it's a sensor on a bridge, whether it's a cell phone in your pocket, whether it's a camera at your house watching your children. All of those things are, and the mathematics of making that possible are absolutely mind-numbing, and it takes really big infrastructure and forward-thinking policy and regulations to really move our state forward. And so I'm incredibly bullish about the next 10 years. I think, to your point, I think technology is going to double or triple itself in that same period of time. And I think it's a challenge to all of us as constituents to support our legislators, to give them the stories they need to move our activities forward, but at the same time be cognizant that without deep legislation cooperative activities to really open up those channels, Colorado risks being less competitive in the market, because these things are happening in real time, and we've got a great opportunity. So 10 years out, could not be more excited. It's a long time in technology. I mean, Facebook wasn't around 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I think Eric really summed it up in all areas. And in 10 years, I hope that my colleagues are sitting here trying to figure out, well, how do we now move Colorado forward for the next 10 years? And again, everything we do in our life every day is going to be technology driven, but it's going to connect us and move our state forward. I don't know if all of you are aware of Uber. And, when I was at the inauguration, I used Uber. I mean, that just goes to show how technology can change businesses and entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't, you need to figure it out. But, the days of taxi cabs, which I believe we still need, but for those who want a service, and they've taken a software, and you call a car, and it's there in 2 minutes, and you can see your driver. I mean, look at how technology has crossed into the transportation area. And so I just think that in the next 10 years, we're all going to kind of be sitting around, and we're going to be like our mothers, at least for me and Larry, we're going to be sitting back like our mothers and making sure that we are on top of the latest technology, mm-hmm. and that we will be texting or in some other type of technology, our grandchildren from that perspective. But I just want to reiterate that as legislators, we need your support. If we're going to move Colorado forward, we are going to have to work together, and hopefully there won't be too many tragedies, but we can all work towards a common good to move our state forward, because I'm convinced that we will continue to fall behind. We are already behind. So we need to get caught up in the next couple of years here with the legislation that we're running and get ready for the next 10 years.
So, consistent theme again. When it comes to the industry and you guys that are in the front lines, huge excitement. The optimism is flowing over, and that's so exciting and wonderful. For those of us in the policy side, and this is where we need to be, I'm always fond of the phrase, remain calm, don't panic. We need to use restraint. The temptation when you bump into one of these areas is to say, hey, government needs to be involved. Bring the full force and power of government, in our case the state of Colorado, and its citizenry and the funds that we're able to get through that, and let's help this industry. That's something we need to be extremely judicious with. My default on this area is to pull back. To exercise the restraint. That's really heart and the soul of the legislation we're working on, which is bipartisan, by the way. It has been from day one. This has not been a political thing. It's been something that has resonated with the citizen, with the industry, citizenry in the industry. But I think this is where we need to, from the government side, from the policy side, exercise real restraint. We can do that because of the strength of the industry. I have the full faith and confidence in the industry that you all can grab the ball here. I really think it's our job to kind of provide the environment, facilitate that, and then get out of the way and back off. And in that context, if we can appropriately do that, then absolutely the next 10 years are nothing but excitement and an unlimited horizon of looking forward and accomplishing great things. So I'm excited about it.
I'll echo the comments. I think that I'm hopeful to be around for the next 10 years because Joe Namath used to say, I can't wait till tomorrow because I get better looking every day. I can't say that, but I can say I can't wait till tomorrow because technology gets more exciting every day. And the reality is I really do want to thank Representative Williams and Senator Sheffield because their vision of a regulatory model that's going to allow this innovation to take is going to be essential to what we're talking about. There are so many, if you go to an engineering school and you go talk to young people and you see what they're trying to do, you can't help but be excited and passionate about what the opportunities are. I'm on the board of PBS, and one of the things that we do is children's television. And I was standing in line yesterday at a supermarket in Washington D.C. before I called Uber to get my cab to Dulles Airport. I'm standing in line behind a young mother with her kid, and she breaks out her cell phone, and instead of the kid looking at the candy aisle, the kid is watching one of PBS's shorts, educational shorts, on the iPhone. That's what this kind of revolution enables. And I want to say one thing in closing. It is, coming out of Washington, D.C., where partisanship and bickering is keeping us from moving forward as a nation, I think. To come to Colorado, where there's a bipartisan effort to do great things, proves to me not only does technology work, but democracy, when you have reasonable people, also can work. So I want to commend the state of Colorado for having such great legislators, because I'm living in a logic-free zone these days, and I try to get out of it as often as possible to find great things that are happening in our nation.